I had always considered my neighborhood to be safe and quiet, the kind of place where people mowed their lawns on weekends and children played in their yards. It was the kind of place where people trusted one another, where doors were left unlocked during the day, and where friendly greetings were exchanged over white picket fences. But something about my new neighbor, Mr. Jonathan Reed, unsettled me. It wasn't his charming personality or his meticulous lawn. It was his smile. Too perfect, too constant, like it was painted on his face. When he first moved in, people welcomed him with open arms. He was polite, charismatic, and always willing to lend a helping hand. He hosted small gatherings, attended neighborhood meetings, and even helped old Mrs. Peterson carry her groceries home. But despite his apparent kindness, something about him never sat right with me. His smile never faltered, not once. It was as if it were permanently fixed to his face, an unchanging, unsettling expression of delight. From the moment he moved in, I felt something was off. He made an effort to introduce himself to everyone, shaking hands, asking polite questions. And yet, his eyes never seemed to match the warmth of his grin. They were distant, calculating, as though he were merely imitating human interaction rather than truly engaging with it. As weeks passed, I tried to convince myself I was being paranoid. Maybe he was just overly friendly. Maybe he had exceptionally good teeth. But my unease only grew. I started noticing small, strange details. How he never blinked much when he spoke. How his expressions seemed rehearsed. How he never showed any emotion other than that ever-present, gleaming smile. One evening, while taking out my trash, I saw him standing in his front yard, staring at the sunset. His hands were perfectly still at his sides, his head slightly tilted, and that same unsettling smile stretched across his face. He stood there for an unnervingly long time. At first, I tried to ignore my discomfort, but then I started hearing strange noises coming from his house at night. At odd hours, when the neighborhood was silent, I would hear a faint humming sound, like machinery whirring. There were also low murmurs, sometimes almost like whispers. I assumed he might be watching late-night television, but the sounds were too mechanical, too deliberate. One particularly late night, I was sitting in my living room when I heard a sharp metallic clatter from his house. Peering through my blinds, I saw a dim light flickering in his basement window. Then, the neighborhood pets started disappearing. First, the Henderson's cat, then the Barker's golden retriever. At first, people thought they had simply run away, but as more and more animals went missing, suspicion grew. Flyers went up on telephone poles. Children started calling for their missing pets in the evenings, and yet no one ever found a trace of them. I couldn't shake the feeling that Mr. Reed knew something about it. Every time a pet went missing, he seemed almost pleased. His smile would stretch just a little wider. One night, I saw him carrying something large and lumpy wrapped in a black garbage bag out of his house. He moved quickly, checking to see if anyone was watching before loading it into his car. I told myself it was probably nothing, but deep down I knew better. My curiosity soon turned into an obsession. I found myself watching him, studying his every move. I knew it was unhealthy, but I couldn't help it. There was something deeply, fundamentally wrong about him. One evening, he invited me over for a drink. I hesitated, but ultimately accepted, hoping to learn more about him. His house was pristine, almost eerily so. Not a single item out of place, not a speck of dust to be seen. It was too perfect, like a stage set rather than a real home. As we chatted, my eyes wandered to a door at the back of his house.